they keep making jokes about the government and everything else. But at the same time, there's a latent fear of the police. There is always.
What about one hears, for example, of the telephone tapping is widespread?
Yes, well known. Many people know that their telephones are tapped, and sometimes you can even get the tapes from the police if you pay for them. For instance, if you want to follow someone, a friend or your wife or something like that, and then you can get your own telephone tapped and then pay for the tapes.
What about your telephone, Father? Do you think that's taped?
It is, definitely.
Is
definitely.
It?
We were told, yes.
As political refugees or seeking work, some 600,000 Paraguayans have left the country. That's a quarter of the population. Movement in the other direction, into the posher parts of Paraguay, is said to have included Hitler's deputy, Martin Bormann, Gestapo Chief Heinrich Muller, and the doctor at the Auschwitz concentration camp, a Bavarian called Josef Mengele, who's taken Paraguayan nationality. Inquiries about these retiring residents are not welcomed.
Whatever one may think of dictatorship or of strong rule by the military, there is an excuse for seeing it as so far the only successful form of government for the peoples of Latin America and for the Paraguayans in particular. These people need a strong, despotic form of government. Faced with a choice, they fight among themselves. They only move ahead upon an order.
And the man who always gives the order advances slowly from blatant dictatorship towards a kind of guided democracy. In the last election, he persuaded the Liberal Party to play at opposition, and they won more than a quarter of the seats. For the first time in 31 years, Paraguayans were offered two candidates. Martial law was lifted for 24 hours, and a newspaper permitted to attack the brutal regime. Before Stroessner, this palace had seen 32 rulers in 62 years. They came and they went, but they were always dictators. Paraguay is one of the least known nations of the world, distant, forlorn. Much of it a medieval backwater. By European standards enormous, but in this vast continent small, landlocked, and suffocated by overpowering neighbours. 3 times the size of England and Wales, Paraguay is only the population of the Birmingham area, and, apart from Haiti, is the poorest country of the hemisphere with the lowest standard of living. A fertile, abundant, underdeveloped nation, only 4% of its land's cultivated, and you can buy it for 10 shillings an acre. £1 a week's a good wage, and a house can be built for £300. Almost all the rare modern amenities, those taken for granted in other lands, like its 3 surfaced roads, have been paid for by foreign money. The people have always been ruled harshly, and if their submissive qualities disqualify them from any Garden of Eden, these dictators' subjects have a deeper secret. Paraguayans can be happy regardless.